Hi, everybody. You might be wondering, there's not a Take Care Tuesday, well, it's not Tuesday, or Faith Wrestle Friday, or Therapy Thursday hashtag. It's Authentic Enoughness hashtag. So some of you may have seen that I've launched a podcast because I know lots of you don't remember to watch videos, or you don't like watching videos, or you don't like YouTube. And so we have put my content, some of my content, there will be more, onto podcast. So Google Play is live, and so is iTunes. So if you could please head over there and find my podcast called Authentic Enoughness. And as I am going forward in this new venture of my career, I am not necessarily going to categorize my videos. So they're going to be Authentic Enoughness. And you're still going to get tons of Take Care Tuesdays material and Therapy Thursday material and Faith Wrestle Friday material, because that's who I am. But I am one person, and I do the work to be integrated, meaning that my dark and my light, I rumble with them and I own them both and all of that stuff. And so that's the integration part. So yesterday morning, I shared a quote and a graphic on my personal page that seemed to really hit some nerves with people. So I just finished listening to Rachel Hollis's Girl Wash Your Face. Please listen to that book, read it. I like listening to books, plus she narrates it. It's a phenomenal book. And she kind of talks about this concept in her own words. And this is a concept that I've talked about for years, like this, we have to choose ourselves and do this work. And last night I had an interview with an author in Australia about my grief story. And, she's like, I know my coach is always telling me, I always say the work, and people don't know what that means. And the work is, the practice of self-love in my self-care. The work is knowing how shame and vulnerability and boundaries and trust and criticism and forgiveness and grief function in my life so that I am the author of my life. It's the shame work that I do with being trained by Brené Brown. It is speaking unspoken shame. It's speaking the hard parts of our story. It's seeking support. It's asking for what I want and need. It's accountability. It's the permission to struggle with the grace and the accountability to change your life. So yesterday I shared, the quote that I shared was what I prompted this video with. I changed it a little bit today, but stop showing up and following through for everyone except yourself. So I think it was the week before that I shared with you that I was scrolling Facebook in bed. And it was because I had seen my last client after 19 years, and I was really, really scared. And I'm walking into a huge unknown that I don't know what the heck is happening with my life or what God is doing. And so I'm being obedient and I'm trusting and listening to my heart and what gets me excited. And because that's uncomfortable, even the therapist who literally has the work of Brené Brown in her bones broke her cardinal rule for weeks, to be honest, and was scrolling Facebook in bed. And I talked about how, Chad was helping me be accountable, but at the end of the day, I had to be accountable and choose to change my life. So I'll link that video in the comments. But last week and then into this week, I did not have the sound turned on my alarm because I panic. We sit in the front row at church, and I always panic that even though it says it's on Do Not Disturb and that alarms don't sound unless they're going off, and I know I don't have an alarm set for during church, I still turn it off because I do not want to be in the front row when Pastor Greg is all passionate and preaching and my freaking phone goes off. So I always turn the sound off. And I kept forgetting to turn it on, which meant I wasn't getting up at 4:44, which is what I do to fill myself up and recoup in order to serve all of you with my gifts, doing what I love most. So I was getting up later with Chad's alarm, and it's been totally aligning with my scriptures this week. It's been aligning with the people in my life right now and what I'm struggling with too, which is not surprising, obviously. We don't forget to do stuff we need to do. We don't. We self-sabotage. We get in our own way. And we do what feels the most comfortable, even though we know it's harmful to our well-being. And we do this for many, many, many reasons. Maybe it's because we're numbing and we're going through a hard time, like I was when I was scrolling Facebook at night. Maybe it's because we just don't like discomfort, or we don't know where to start, which is why I'm so passionate about sharing the self-care journey. I also think that there is this movement that a lot of people have been using some of my work, Brené's work, but like the work that I teach on shame, to stay stuck. Like, sure, I might have been forgetting right before bed to turn on my alarm. I remembered it like 5 times throughout the day. I also could have set an alarm. I also could have put up a Post-it. I also could have asked Chad to give me truth and love and help me be accountable and turning on the sound on my alarm so I would get up at the time that I know is best for me. And I did none of those things. I was self-sabotaging. It felt easier. If you've read any of Mel Robbins' books or you watching her videos, she talks about like motivation is crap, it's garbage. Like, it's in the action of changing your life. And so I get it. Maybe you're really busy. Maybe you have a lot on your plate and there's a lot going on and you're feeling overwhelmed. And it's okay. That grace and the permission, like give yourself grace that life is hard and it's full. And give yourself permission to struggle. And then you take a breath and you choose action to change your life. Because it's the action that's going to change your life. And you do it with self-compassion, like Kristin Neff teaches, and rumbling with the shame and the emotions. But don't you dare use the shame work. I am enough and it's okay to stay stuck. That's bullshit. And it's kind of driving me crazy because you don't forget to brush your teeth. Or as one of my best friends, Sam, says, you don't forget to feed your children. How dare you forget to take care of yourself first? I don't care what it takes. Post-it notes, putting it in your calendar, alarms on your phone, asking the friends in your tribe, which are few and far between. There's not very many of them, like we've talked about before, asking them for accountability. You don't forget to take care of yourself. You choose not to take care of yourself. And you do it because it's hard. And it's also really effing simple. You know how to get enough sleep. You know how to get better sleep at this point. And if you don't, watch all of my content that I have available to you. You know how to move your body. You know that you need to drink water. You know what food is your medicine. You know that you need to take your plexus if you take plexus. You know that you need to ask for what you want and need and set boundaries. You know that you need to say no more and need to say yes to the things that are going to fill you up. You know, but you choose to stay stuck. And then you say, I'm enough no matter what. I will not do that anymore. And I am so tired of people not taking care of themselves and walking around this world like shells of who they once were. Because you don't serve the world with that. And you are not a good mom when you don't take care of yourself. You're not. I don't care how much you convince yourself of that. And I don't care if I'm pissing you off, because then maybe you'll be just tired enough of being tired to change something. And the other piece that came to me this morning, how dare you think that you don't need to take care of yourself when you have the perfect example in Jesus. No matter who you think Jesus is, I don't give a shit if he is your savior. I pray that you do find that one day, but I don't care if you just think he was a prophet. He over and over and over practiced boundaries. He practiced saying no. He practiced taking breaks. He practiced prayer and meditation. He practiced self-care. And he was only on this earth for 33 years. He was busy. And yet he still said, I'm out. Leave me alone for a bit. I got to fill myself up so I can pour into you. So you're too busy to take care of yourself? I'm going to argue with that one. What if, for perhaps the first time in your life, you showed up for yourself? You followed through for yourself. Like Rachel Hollis says in the book, you stop breaking promises to yourself. You keep them for everyone else, but you don't keep them for you. You are not a victim. And I'm sure you have lots going on. We all do. That is this brutal and beautiful life. And after all these years in this work, what I do absolutely promise you is that if you do this work, and again, I will clarify what the work is, practicing your self-love in the actions of self-care, knowing how shame and vulnerability and boundaries and trust and grief and forgiveness function in your life, because otherwise they run your life. Asking for what you want and need, knowing that sometimes you might not get it. Setting boundaries, saying no. Being still. Finding something bigger than yourself to believe in. If you do the work, you have so much more to give to everyone and everything in your life. And if you're going to use parenting as an excuse, you change those children's lives the most when they see that example. And I may not be a parent, but I've worked with a lot of adults who never saw their adults take care of themselves, and now they are floundering. Do your work, because then your relationships are deeper, your work is more satisfying, you don't feel so empty and not enough all the time, you don't compare, you're connected with others. You fill yourself up, which means you can fill others up, and you can heal. I really did not think I would cry on that one. That's what I got. Thank you for watching. I will link the podcast. I will also link the YouTube channel. I am literally less than 200 subscribers on YouTube from monetization. Here's the quick kicker. We're having a party in a couple weeks, and I literally am going to message people on the e-bike and be like, you need to bring your computer to get in, and I'm going to pull up my YouTube channel, and we're just going to play it all. Like, we'll mute it, so you don't have to listen to me. But so if you feel called to help me get my monetization on YouTube, please make sure you go over there and subscribe, and that you also spend some time watching the videos. I mean, watch them because they're helpful, but if you just want to watch them, play all of them and mute them, because I need over 100,000 more watch minutes. Also, if you have not liked my public page, it's called Justine Froelker, author, speaker, certified Daring Way Facilitator. Today of all days would be a very, very good and helpful day for me to break that 3,500 likes. There's a lot of publishers that won't even look at you until you break 3,500 likes. And I have 2 books that are looking for agency and publication, or perhaps I'll publish them myself. I don't know. Just trying to listen to God on that one. So thank you. Oh, and 777 Happy Challenge, $7, 7 days, just 7 minutes a day. Starts on July 9th, but you can, I'll dump you into the page anytime you purchase it. So that's on my website too. So there's all the different ways you can work with me. Thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate it. And make it a great Thursday. You know what? I will do another video next week, because my grief and infertility hate 4th of July, and I love 4th of July because I also get to see 2 of my favorite kiddos on 4th of July, and I love fireworks, the big ones that the professionals do. And I hate 4th of July because we all eat too much, drink too much, are in the sun too much, and don't do any of our self-care. So it also throws everybody off kilter. So it's a great time to join my 777 Happy Challenge. So thanks a lot for being here. And I will probably see you next week, or whenever God gives me an idea for a video. So thank you. I'm trying to get to my stop video button. There it is. Thank you.